25 home runs and 53 stolen bases. Welcome back to the BergerTime Show. Today, it's going to be all about the Tigers. Spring training right around the corner. It's going to start on Saturday, the 21st. Tigers and the Yankees will be playing. Let's talk a little bit about the Tigers lineup and a little bit about a couple different players. I'm very interested to see how they do in spring training, which could also impact the roster coming up. So let's get right into it. So the Tigers, Framber Valdez. Absolutely a huge signing. That's a 1-2 punch, both lefties, Skubal and Valdez now. So it's very interesting. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do with Skubal now. It seems like they might just run it out the rest of the season. They got Verlander as well. So pretty potent starting pitchers. Skubal, Valdez, Verlander, Flaherty, and Mize. So those are the 5 starters that I would slate. As of right now, never know what's going to happen. Reese Olson dealing with some injuries. I know Jackson Jobe, he's going to be coming off of that surgery and injury as well. So don't know if we're going to get too much out of him this year. But very interesting to see the Tigers lineup right now. I have the designated hitter, Kerry Carpenter, Torres at second base, Green in left field, Torkelson at first base, Keith playing third, Dingler catching, McKinstry at shortstop, Baez in center field, and then Perez playing right field. So a little bit of back and forth in the lefty-righty category, Perez being that switch hitter, hitting 9-hole. So you could make a lot of different changes. But the 3 players that are most likely going to influence this roster, depending on how they do in spring training, 3 guys: Kevin McGonigal, Max Clark, and Thayron Liranzo. Those are the 3 guys that are either ready or ready to show what they can do at the elevated level during spring training. So let's start off with Thayron Liranzo. So he's a career 241 hitter, 362 OBP, 56 jacks in about 1,300 ABs, 1,253 ABs. So he's shown that he can hit for power. Now, the problem is he's a career 241 hitter in the minor leagues, okay? So that's not going to translate phenomenally to the MLB. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he does in spring training. But the next 2 guys in Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, he's ready. 308 hitter, 410 OBP, 25 home runs, 40 stolen bases, and only 676 career ABs in the minor leagues. That is absolutely astonishing. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Tigers decide to do with how he does in spring training. I mean, you have a bunch of guys for that middle infield. I mean, you have Baez, who can now play outfield or infield, McKinstry, Keith, you got Torres, so Torkelson, all of those, first base, second base, third base, and shortstop. You have a handful of guys. Right now, I could see Kevin McGonigal taking that spot at shortstop away from Zach McKinstry. I know Zach McKinstry was an all-star last year, but that doesn't mean that it's going to continue. And if McGonigal shows that he's ready to go and ready to dominate at this MLB level, then you might as well let him go. Now, the guy who is right on the cusp of being ready in Max Clark, 270 career hitter, 388 OBP, 25 home runs, 53 stolen bases. Max Clark, that's phenomenal. Through low A and double A last year at Erie. That's incredible. Now, if he's able to produce in spring training these same numbers, if he's able to steal a couple bags, maybe hit a couple jacks, if he's doing his job and getting on base, I would see no reason why Max Clark shouldn't be on the roster to start the season. I mean, he could play right field, for sure could play right field. He could even probably play center field. Either of those positions. I know left field is for sure locked down by Riley Green for this year. Baez and Perez I have currently slated in center field and right field, but you also have guys like Parker Meadows. What are you going to do with Parker Meadows? Now, I personally haven't seen a ton out of Parker Meadows. You know, he's phenomenal in center field, but when it comes down to it in the MLB, it's all about the bat, and he hasn't been as successful with the bat. He is currently slated to maybe hit 220 this year with a 300 OBP. 44 walks to 122 Ks. So those projected numbers don't look great. I could project Max Clark getting similar numbers in center field or right field, and I feel like the younger guy is ready to go. If he shows that he is ready to go in spring training, I think you give Max Clark and Kevin McGonigal a roster spot on opening day. I know it's really going to come down to being under team control, but if, let's say, we didn't have to deal with team control and we just, based on the stats and what players did, I think that would be very interesting. Both those guys are ready to go. Now, the lineup for the Tigers is going to be very interesting. Now, last year, it was a group effort. It was a whole team, especially playing at Comerica Park. It's more a pitcher-friendly park, doubles, singles ballpark. So, not a lot of home runs at Comerica Park. But I feel like it's going to be very, very hard for the Tigers to continue along with what they were doing last year. Now, you got guys that are projected to hit around 260. Colt Keith, Gleyber Torres, Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, all four of those guys are projected to hit around 260. Now, the biggest problem for me is strikeouts. Now, your two best guys of last year, Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson, both of them, respectively, are slated to have 175 Ks and 162 Ks. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, strikeouts are a big problem. If you're not putting the ball in play and you're just going to walk back to the dugout after swinging and missing, or heaven forbid, watching a strike three call. Now, I know some strike three calls are not correct, but with ABS coming in, those are most likely going to, I guess, flatten out. It's going to be a lot better. But if you're swinging and missing, that's a problem. Now, they're in the MLB, so don't get me wrong. I can't be telling them what to do, what their approach should be. But at the end of the day, with two strikes, you should be having more of a two-strike approach, right? Flatten out the barrel, spread out a little bit, get your timing, and put a ball in play. Especially with a guy on third base, less than 2 outs. Got to put a ball in play. Can't be striking out guy on second, move him over. You got to do a job. Now, Riley Green having 200-plus strikeouts last year, absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand how that's okay. Hopefully he gets better this year. I mean, he's projected to have 175 Ks, so hopefully it's a lot less than that, because that is a tremendous amount of striking out. Now, he's projected to hit 28 home runs, which 28 home runs, 91 RBIs, yep. And so 28 jacks, that's going to be huge. 28 jacks for Green and 27 jacks for Torkelson. If both of them, who they both did hit the 30 mark last year, if they can both hit 30 mark this year, that would be huge. Absolutely huge. Now, they're going to need one more guy to step up, whether or not that's going to be Kerry Carpenter hitting 24 home runs, as he's projected to do so, or Gleyber Torres at 18. Gleyber Torres, he was a very interesting signing with that, I forget what it was called, but they signed him. They gave him that initial offer, and he ended up taking it. And so we're going to need a big year out of Gleyber Torres. Now, it all comes down to what the lineup looks like. Now, if you have the entire lineup, they're putting balls in play, putting balls in the gap, putting balls over the fence, it's going to be successful. But if you only have one or two guys, like in previous years, it's not going to work out. Last year, everybody was going. Everybody was having a good year. I believe it was 5 All-Stars on the Detroit Tigers. They were the best team in baseball for the first half of the season before the All-Star break. So if they continue along that line, they're going to be very successful. Now, the question is, are they going to be able to continue along in that success? And if I'm being completely honest, signs point to no. It's very difficult to continue to do the exact same thing. I mean, 2 years ago, the bullpen was a shutdown absolute machine for the Tigers, and last year their bullpen was one of the major issues, one of the reasons why they were not able to be successful in the playoffs, especially again in that series against Seattle. In extra innings, they ran out of pitching, and Seattle was just able to capitalize. And if the Tigers are going to be as successful as they can, which they should win the Central, the Guardians are falling off. I don't think the Royals are quite there yet. I think the Royals are going to be a wild card team again. They're a very solid franchise. I mean, any team with Bobby Witt Jr. is going to be very good. So the Tigers still need that star. I don't know if you can go out into the trade deadline or before the trade deadline and get that star. And by star, I mean star on the offense. They've obviously got Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in baseball for multiple years now, 2 Cy Youngs in a row. Probably most likely he'll win a third, if he continues along with what he's been doing. But it's really going to be interesting to see, especially at the trade deadline, what the team looks like, what needs they have. Can Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark give the team the spark that they need? I don't know. Time will tell. I mean, this coming weekend, Saturday the 21st, they're going to play the Yankees, and that's going to be the start of spring training. So we'll see from there. So thank you so much for tuning into the show. My name is Luke Weiberger, and we will catch you in the next episode.